So the reason why I started my camps and I started coaching long snappers was because I knew I had a system that was teachable and repeatable for snapping the football. It held up. After my first probably 4, 5, 6 years in the NFL, I started to be able to articulate it. I started to be able to speak about it because I would write it down all the time. If I ever had any troubles in games or practice, I would just I would write out what I was doing. And so that gave me the words to be able to explain it to other people. During training camp, sometimes high school kids or college guys, they'd walk up to me and they'd say, "Hey, I'm a long snapper, can you tell me what to do?" And I'd be like, "Absolutely." And I would just stop right there and I'd spend an hour with them or however much time they had, and I would explain to them what I considered the most important aspects of snapping the ball precisely and accurately with velocity and make it repeatable.
BJ moved pretty well when he came in, but he could only do it one time. He could never return to that position. Now that position is simply, we want to be at right angles or straight lines. If we're not, our muscles tend not to work in the appropriate order. They tend not to be able to create force maximally, which we know you better create at least 93% or greater, or the opportunity for the muscles to work out of order is going to happen, which means we have compensation patterns, which means he has to change the way he long snaps, or you have to change the way you jump every single time. It is not the way to develop consistency. It is not the way to become an all-pro in any sport. It is not the way to make the paycheck. The way to make the paycheck is to do the same thing at the same high level every single time.
The snappers that come to my camp can expect to learn what they need to know, so they don't waste their time in reinventing the wheel. The guys that I work with, I want to put the idea in their head of what they need to be working on and how to make it repeatable and how to adapt to mistakes, so they have an understanding of why they're making mistakes and they can self-correct as they learn how to do it in a way that helps them to be successful on game day.
Now, what we do is we allow the brain to understand by moving very, very slowly or by moving exceptionally fast to understand this is the only position I'm supposed to be in. We call those reflex patterns and reflex arcs. And when we maintain those, and when we utilize those, well, training then allows you to be a long snapper, a quarterback, a hockey player, climb rocks for a living, a power lifter, an Olympic lifter, a speed skater, because the muscles will now work the way they're designed and allow you to hold that position so anything any coach ever teaches you can be executed.
So of course I would recommend my long snappers and guys that I work with train here, because the faster you are, the more powerful you are, and it can be applied, the better snapper you're going to be. The better you're going to be able to handle adverse situations, injuries, because you can separate out your muscle groups, fire them at will, holding position, and deliver that snap every single time. So for me, the reason why I've been able to have the career that I've had, a huge part of it is the training that I've done. I wish I started it earlier. My goal is when guys leave my camp, they have a full understanding of what to work on, of how to practice, how to prepare, where to spend their time.